Hello, hello. Okay, welcome back to a new stream. Today I'll be making this character on screen, which is in a very old sketch of mine. So I'll take this character and make a new version essentially. Okay, this character is meant to be a pirate girl, and that's what I want to do in the design of this character, the redesign, to add more pirate aesthetics to it. But first I need to sketch a updated version. If, maybe a smaller brush. Yeah, brush like this is way better. The face shape can be mostly the same. I don't need it to be too different. But it's definitely the body that needs some updates. I think the neck is a bit too long. It's the thing. It's super hot today. It's all in raining, just humid, which is annoying because it's raining, so it's not really comfortable to wear simple clothes, but also too hot to do it anyway. Even though I've drawn the human body like 1,000 times by now, I still never know the quite right proportions. So I'm just making stuff up as I go. I'm more of a I'll fix it down the line kind of guy. I want the shirt color to be a lot deeper. Now this okay, I purchased this character in a new layer because I will probably use it for something else later. Let's see, I still have I will use a different color for the clothes. Let's go for nice blue. Okay, this is more of a heart shape, the armor, so okay, I think I may need to put the shoulders a bit down so she doesn't look as stiff. Okay, so what I will do in a moment, I will first draw this hole. I have a lot of versions of this specific character. I can, if I want to pull up one late in the stream, if there are viewers, that is. Not worth it to pull up old versions if nobody's watching. This version has a half metal, half leather. But the question is, do I want it to be half metal to be accurate? You can also make it fully metal with nice swirls to make it all fancy such. I'll have to think about that. The shirt is short, so the sleeves end around here. Now the question is this a short sleeve shirt or folded up? Could just be the arms being folded. Either way, of all characters, this the first one I have bare arms. Having the arms exposed. Okay, in terms of the face, the looks fine, in proportions looks fine. The ear will be somewhere around here. Not exactly. You know, part of me wants to give this character dog ears. They go something like so. Would be kind of funny, but I'm not sure if I'll go with that. It would add some extra races to the game though. And the nose. And a distinctive part about her is the glove on her head. Or bandana. I'll have to look at some bandana references to make sure it's drawn properly. But having it, the tie not exposed on this side, adds a nice little visual detail. But I need to see how tight it is to that specific spot. And the hair, I will use that. Let's see, what's the sketch like? Is there an alright sketch? The face doesn't look right at all. I feel like the face needs to be bigger compared to this. Yes, I will redraw the face for a bit. Because right now the face is a bit too small for my liking. I might as well delete this part as well. It doesn't serve me. And use a different layer for the head in a different color. For the face I will use this as reference. Now I look at it, I will need to purge the sketch also a bit higher up to better match the other drawings. Something around here. Okay. This one is a bit off center. Using this face as reference would be... I cannot see too well. It's the wrong layer. The wrong brush, I mean. I won't exactly copy the face. It's more about the general width of it. She will have a bit of a longer face than this girl. So comparatively, the eyes will be around the same spot. The question is this face white enough? I don't know. Okay, looking at the shirt, I want to be very open. And I need to rethink how I want to do the armor as well. Whenever I'm streaming, my whole program always slows down so badly. Okay, the armor is if the chest goes around like so, do the breast make sense? I need to figure that part out quickly if the breast makes sense. I'm relatively squished up. I think it's fine. It's more the average, the general underneath the waist. Oh, I'm sweating, man. It's so hot. I wish I could draw and do this at the same time, much easier. can, but let's see. Yeah, Bo, how you doing, man? Uh, today's super hot. I keep sweating, man. I'm currently sketching the next female character. And more specifically, I am sketching, if I can show it, this character over here. An old character sketch of mine from like 2019. But I want to redraw her in a pixel art for my game project. It is too. Well, that's summer for you. Oh man, it doesn't help that I have my laptop on, so the heat coming off of it. And also here in the Netherlands it's super humid. I'm trying to figure out how to best approach the female figure. In terms of armor, she is wearing a bit of a chest plate. So I assume her breast are a bit squeezed in. Like so. We are information your stream is pretty it is? Oh, hang on. I think I forgot to turn. Okay, is that better? I hope this should fix it. Sometimes I forget to turn the required things on. Okay, as I was saying, I was trying to draw the armor plate, which would be something like don't necessarily need to be a defined breast, but I need to figure out how it goes over the breast. It's metal, so it probably doesn't have be defined at all anyway, but it will curve a bit around it. So, about how have you been? I'm trying to draw and use this fan at the same time, which is not super comfortable. But you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to stay cool. Okay, I think the arms are a bit too high up, so what I want to do is I want to make them a bit lower, like so, to give her a bit more of a relaxed vibe. Well, I also want to say I've been good, but it's hard to say I'm good when I have it super hot today. But you weren't here during the final Zelda stream, and I say this because I have now finished the Link's Awakening hard mode. So my next gaming stream will be a new game. And I think I may have an idea which one I want to try out. And it will be a bullet hell, because I love me some insane difficulty from time to time. Okay, I really don't feel like it's clicking the overall drawing yet. She looks a bit too masculine at the moment. Oh. Oh nice, how many deaths did you end up with? It's, I think something around 160. By the end, in the last stream, actually, I only died a couple times because I found a really good spot with a ferry where I could easily teleport to every time I was running out of hearts. So in the last stream, I actually barely died. Okay. The shape doesn't quite make sense to me. Okay, the arms are like so. Hmm. How did I do it with the other characters? Sometimes I forget. Using my other characters as a reference. Hang on. I always have what I needed lying around. Uh, ah, the chest was a lot wider, I think. No, it's not the wideness, it's more the head is a lot wider. Okay, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need to make the head bigger. Also, I was Sobby stream. I only was there for like 20 minutes. Because it was like a 5 in the morning for me when Sobby was streaming. I only joined in to say hi, honestly. By the way, in terms of character lore for this specific character, you may remember that one other male character which I drew a few months ago. There's one. Okay, it was pretty miserable. He basically spent a bunch of money and got nothing. That's gambling for you. Yeah, I'm anti-gambling regardless if it's a game or not. So you won't see me doing that shit. But anyway, what I want to say is, you may remember this guy. Um, in terms of character lore, I want this guy to be the younger brother of the character I'm drawing right now. So I want to have some similarities in terms of design. And I think one of them being the cyan bits, the little greenish bits in his clothes, which I will use heavily in this character. Other character lore is I had this. Did I accidentally select the color? Is that I want this character to be dead, or more specifically a ghost character, like a pirate ghost girl. This shoulder throws me completely off. It's not a suit, so it doesn't have to be sharp, can be nice and rounded. And I actually have some notes I can show you if you like to read with me. Hang on. I haven't been writing a lot lately. I was playing way too much Tomodachi Life, man. Well, where are my character notes I'm looking for? Okay, I have my current game notes are in like 6 different note files, so okay, I found something. I need to set the camera to display capture so you can see it. Okay, no, my computer crashing a bit. Okay, what's down under here is not relevant. It's this bit up here. Okay, I won't. Whoa, my computer completely lagging here. Hang on. Whoa. Okay, I once considered leaving pirate life behind and start over in some town. Given how I lost my parents, I want to raise an orphan and give them a new opportunity in life, much like my captain adopted me. But then I died. It's hard to raise a child when you yourself aren't breathing. Maybe that's the God's way for punishing me for the atrocities I committed. At least I can look after Jay, the younger brother. He may not see me as his sister, but I still love him as my younger brother. For this character, my idea is that she has a complex relationship with her younger brother Jay. So while they never really talk to one another, Jay only mildly acknowledges her existence, whereas to her, Jay is pretty much her entire life. As Jay, unlike her, is still alive and breathing, and the only closest relative she has at the moment in the world. So that was my idea for this character. So what I want to is make this character also look a bit glowing. So instead of the usual black outlines I have with these other characters, I think I will make her outline a bit more lighter, like white, to really show that she is not the same. Let's quickly try the hair. I want her to be mostly accurate to the original sketch, but we have some key differences. Okay, her hair is a bit more on the longer and messier side. Another idea, as I read, is she is a pirate girl. An idea I had, which I'm not sure yet if I will commit to it, is that I want to make the pirate father, Jace, and this girl's father, kind of a legend in the story. Like, do you know the great pirate? And everyone keeps talking about him, mentioning him, but he never actually appears in the game. He's more of an idea that exists to give the game a bit more of outside the game's lore still exist entire different worlds and people that are only alluded to but never shown. And I think having her as a character helps that to really say I belong to a group of people that are objectively terrible, but I try to distance myself from them. I think I made hair a bit too low. Shall I go for the bandana look? I can. That will be accurate to the original design, the bandana. And it will give her something unique that other characters don't have. Now, speaking of the pirate captain father, I had a lore idea that I may connect him to a very, very different lore idea or not. I will, you know what? I can show you the entire conversation, an idea I had. But that's a very long story. My computer's slow today. What is wrong with it? I think it's the heat. I think. Okay, I have. If I can find the right. Okay, I have. I can show you the story, but it's a super long story notes. Yeah, I'm not going to show it. It's way too long to read right now. But I will summarize the story idea for the pirate captain. That being um he controls a flying ghostly ship. And the ghostly ship flies in the air in the mist and comes out wherever, as ghost ships do. I think the sketch is the way feels a bit small. But as you continue the story in the game, you learn about a legend of a lost civilization from a long time ago, which had special technology made of steam, powder, and gears. And they lived on the floating islands far above the seas, far above in the sky. But that civilization is long gone. And as you continue to read the game story, you realize the ghost ship of the ghost captain is actually just one of the old technology that allowed him to travel in the air. An old steampunk style flying ghost ship. Not a ghost ship, steampunk. Is it steampunk? Yeah, I think steampunk style ship. So that's what I also want to do with this character. Give her some steampunk characteristics. Maybe put a gear here or there. Or make her look a bit British. With it. No, I'm not going with the top hat. That would be funny, a top hat. And another idea is, as I said, Jay, the younger brother character, moves away from his father and his sister's old piratey life. Oh yeah, thanks. I have a lot of random ideas that I sometimes write down, but usually I don't and forget about them. You know, sometimes I think I'm way better at making up random stories than in my previous game. I tried to make a game that's primarily about gameplay, but that didn't work out for me because it's really hard for me to do level design. But what I truly love is to write stories. But that game has like no story whatsoever. What can I do for the armor? Do I make it more piratey-like? I don't want to go overboard. Alright, steampunk. Let's give her some steampunk details. We'll lower the opacity a bit. What did I want to say again? I want to say something, but I forgot. Okay, I haven't fully decided yet, but I think I will name... Where should I put a gear? I think I will name the pirate captain Goldbeard. You know, as a reference to Blackbeard, without calling him Blackbeard. And to somewhat reference Goldbeard, the character, I want to give this character some gold aesthetics. Like, if you look at the old version, you can see some gold swirlies going on, and that's what I want as well, that this new version has gold around. It's a little hint to the character she serves. Maybe like a nice arm, nice shoulder plate made of metal. A singular shoulder plate to give her some asymmetrical. But yeah, I was really thinking about the idea of a ghost ship because I thought it'd be just a fun idea to have some ghostly characters. But then I thought, hypothetically, what if the legends of ghost ships existed in this world, but in reality, in this game's reality, it's a lot more complex than that. That's where the whole steampunk idea came from. Putting a nice... maybe some gear... I cannot draw gear with this brush, but that should give the idea. Do you like writing stories, Irbo? Do you make your own stories? I like writing stories, but I don't do it in my free time, really. Okay. Alright, another story idea. In the future, I don't know when, I will draw some male characters. I cannot have just a game filled with girls after all. Maybe if I give her a... what is the word for it? Just male. Going some... but I will draw a male character in the future. And my idea of the male character's story is that he is a pirate hunter seeking out where this elusive Goldbeard is, and he just happens to be coming across with you for a quick break, to ask you for a beer or something. And as you talk to him, you will learn something about him, that being, every time I wave my fan, the camera seems to blink. Weird. But the idea is that every time you talk to him, well, not every time, he will tell you something about him. And one thing he will tell you is that his family has tried to fight against Goldbeard for generations. And what you will learn is that the gear and armor he uses, as he uses a bit of a high-tech stuff, is actually from the second in command of Goldbeard, which was his ancestor. who handed the armor down to him. And when you look at the armor, similar to Goldbeard's steampunk vibe, his armor will have some steampunk-esque aesthetics, which I think is funny. The irony of a character that uses old Goldbeard tech to trying to arrest him. Okay, I'm not really satisfied with these new details. I will erase it. Doesn't work to me. It's way too much random, useless detail. Because I think it's an interesting idea to, besides direct family relations, that being Jay and Monica, also a direct opponent antagonist relation with this bounty hunter or sheriff or whatever he is. So you get in essentially the idea of the same character but from different perspectives with a different relation to the character that will never be shown on screen. Okay, I don't think giving her more armor adds much. And I also don't. I really just like her original design the most, just the simplicity of it, just a shirt with an armor plate. Okay, I will just keep that. I won't overcomplicate an already decent design. Okay, so this will be the version 1 sketch. Time for a general black layer sketch. You have something else I can say about Goldbeard? I had an idea about Goldbeard as a to make Goldbeard a bit more complex of a character. And that is an even more complex story besides him being a pirate. I already mentioned that his ship flies in the air from a time way back when islands floated in the air. So my idea is, what if way back there was a village, a broken kingdom that was broke, where everyone was poor and full of diseases, dying out. And then this strange man comes in, this healer, and the first thing he does is healing everyone, giving them medicine, using his archaic magic. And the people look at him and are very thankful for him. And so they say, we need to make this man our king. And the man, this stranger, becomes their king for the next few centuries. In this island in the sky, he is the ruler. With his power to heal anyone and everyone, people grew to extreme old ages, hundreds of years old. However, with his power to give people life, prevent them from dying. He can also take it away. If people go out of line, he can easily just say, you don't get to benefit from my power and you will die. This rule started off as a good thing to help for no other reason than to help the people around him. But as time passes, his magic was only used to enforce his power. And soon he would become known as an evil tyrant, an evil king. People tried to protest against him. But every time as people tried to protest, the protesters would lose their lives. So the ones that do want to protest do not dare to say a word and live in fear. As centuries passed, eventually people were fed up with it and decided, you know what? Even if I die today, I don't want to live under this tyrant. And a mass protest reached the kingdom, reached the castle. They storm in, trying their best to get rid of the king, even if it would cost their lives. Hundreds and hundreds died, the kingdom fell in ruin. But nobody knows what truly happened to the king himself. Some believe he died during the protests. Some believe he escaped and is now somewhere else. What happened to the king? That is a mystery. Only a few know. That is until you realize that the king that used to rule the world, the king that lived forever, is the pirate king, the Goldbeard. Goldbeard, the great pirate king, the ghost king, the king, the pirate in his ghost ship. It's not a ghost ship. It's old technology. He's not a ghost that lives forever. He has the power to live forever because he can heal himself as much as he wants. He can heal his crew as much as he needs because his power he uses for his own goals. He's not a literal ghost as in he's dead, but he's very much a ghost of the past. Thanks. I hope I explained it well, because that's essentially but not this story. Well, if I have lying around. My computer lags. Great. That's essentially my computer's being slow today. I don't know why. Probably because of the the heat. Because of the heat. The humidity. Okay, I think I found it. Yes, that's essentially the story of this, the Eternal Kingdom. The Eternal Kingdom referred to Goldbeard being uh, becoming the king of an essentially kingdom that lives forever, right? That is the technical name I have in my notes. But that's assuming that Goldbeard is the Eternal King. And while I think that's a really great idea for his character, it's still just notes. Who knows if I change it or not. I'm sometimes a bit indecisive in what I want. It's really funny because when I originally thought of Goldbeard and the Eternal King, I considered them not even the same characters, just two completely different characters. However, sometimes I think to myself, I have so many random story ideas. I need to slim them down by taking some of them and stitch them together as one. And that's where the Goldbeard and the Eternal King idea being the same character started. Because you have to understand, I don't go around and make these extreme complex stories. It's more that I make 20 small story ideas, and those story ideas I later stitch together as in one character story. And that's how a character gets born. That's how their story becomes super complex. Not because the stories are complex, but because there's just so much lore to it. And that's writing for the most part. It's just think random bullshit up and then try to figure out later how they connect with one another. Some people think writing is super hard, but it's more like sometimes you just have to sit in bed staring at the ceiling, just think of random stuff and see what works and what doesn't. Unfortunately, I cannot do that with every character, at least not yet. Some characters I want to give amazing backstories, but I don't have anything to tell. Okay, there is the sketch area. Now you start to see it a bit more. Her arms are a bit too wide. Dang, that makes no sense. Okay, okay, that feels a lot better. Her arms are also a bit narrow. I will fix that down the line. But you start to see the basic sketch of it. Do you have another fun story idea I can think of my head right now without pulling up the notes? um. All right. You know the cowboy character, the bounty hunter character I was talking about earlier. Well, besides that, he is a descendant of one of Goldbeard's second in command. I had this idea of give this character a child, but that child died. I love stories where characters die apparently. And this idea is that it's a bit of a long story as usual. I had this very well written down in the notes, so let me try to paraphrase it. I feel like everyone having a great backstory can take away the value of each other. Maybe I'm just crazy. I agree with that. Not everyone needs a amazing backstory. Some characters can stay simple, and it makes the characters that don't have, I mean, the characters that do have backstories more special. You know the saying, if everyone is super, no one is. If everyone is tragic, no one is. Okay, okay, the face is most definitely a bit small. I need to make the head bigger. Key. I will make every character I have complex or anything. I won't even say only some of the characters. I would more say that the characters I have are more complex because they all have something in common with one specific character, that being Goldbeard. Jay himself is not a complex by himself. He's only complex because he is related to one of the most important historic characters. I will make the face a bit wider. Okay, but we've been talking about side characters so far. I want to talk a bit about the main character. Who is the main character you play as? Well, I have this idea. Why do you play? Why do you play the game? What's the motivation of the main character to be a bartender on a cruise ship? I have this idea that the main character desires to find a specific character, and he knows that the cruise ship goes past the island where the character he looks for resides. And for the first three-fourths of the game, that's irrelevant because you talk to other characters. But you sometimes get hints of who is this elusive character he keeps talking about? Who is this Lily girl? Our main character sometimes thinks about, sometimes mentions in conversation. And then in the final day of the game, you meet her. You meet this one character the main character has been looking for. And the conversation will be super deep in the weirdest way possible. And you will also realize that the main character has been thinking about, is the first character you technically talk to in the game. Because the intro of the game will start off with a short conversation between two characters you don't know, that being the main character and the random girl character that won't appear until the very end of the game. And I will pull up the story, or at least the dialogue notes, not finished yet dialogue notes, in a bit, so you can see what I mean if my computer decides not to crash again. Okay, I think it's on the story game. Oh yeah, I have I have it here. but it's a bit of a long story. It's like most of the notes, damn. But it's an interesting read. Are you interested to read my current notes, Irbo? Okay, the first thing you need to understand is this is the final day of the game, so this essentially right before the credits roll. And this is the first time you will officially meet the character. Whoa, hang on. Okay, the character we were talking about is Lily. My computer is being slow again. Character we talked about is being Lily. The main character you play as is Daniel. Okay, Lily. Well. If it isn't, did I miswrite if it isn't my dear old Danny, it's only a matter of time for the gods to reunite us. Danny being all silent. Lily, what's up? You look like you've seen a ghost. To be fair, he probably has because he has met Monica by this point. Then again, you have met Monica before, so you have. Of course I thought that and I wrote it. Who are you? Strokes a mustache. Who am I? Odd question. I figured mustache would be enough for you to know. The name's Lily. Don't forget it. Okay, I don't know if I like that line. My computer is not normally this slow. I think it's because I have so many programs and because it's so humid today. Okay, Daniel says nothing. Lily says nothing. So, Paula truly died that day. Don't look at me like that. The past is the past. Listen, pal. I mean Dan. I know you're not the type to just go back to Moon City. That's the place where he wanted to go. What are you after? Or more specifically, who are you after? What is it to you? Oh, don't be like that, pal. We've known each other since we were kids. I thought you'd be more excited to finally see me again. I thought so too. Should I feel offended you aren't? Are you? No. Then don't act like you are. Fine. But still didn't answer my question. What I am after? No. She wants me to admit this his faults, which you can see by the breakage. She wants me to admit what I think even though she already knows. Fine. I can already tell you won't stop bothering me until I answer your question. And here I thought I was the one to ask the questions. Then let's make a trade. Ask me a question and then answer mine. Deal? What makes you believe I want to ask you a question? Is that the question you go for? Come on, man. I give you the opportunity for some entertainment. An all day, and we both know you won't return to Moon City anytime soon. What has happened to her? It is not like how I remember her. Do you remember Paul? He was an interesting fella. Not like you. Paul was much of a talker. He would never ask questions, not like you. He would never try to understand others, not like you. His way was punching his way through his problems. His way was to protect the people he cared about with his fists. not realizing he only put distance between them. Not like you. I never understood him until I became him. My computer is a bit slow with loading. Hang on. When the world seems to fall apart, the only thing that gives you semblance of control is fighting monsters, fighting bad guys, fighting the urge to jump off a cliff in the name of protecting others. Some told me Paul left on a boat and didn't look back, but I believe he never truly left. Do you disagree? What are you trying to tell me? He was too stubborn to talk to others. He had all the opportunities to make friends. He had the opportunity to fall in love, but blew it all. You are not like him. At least, that's what I want to believe. Soon, the ship will leave, and I won't be on it when that happens. And I don't want you to make the same mistake Paul made. So just ask me a question. Anything. In exchange, I answer the one you ask. Exactly. Gameplay mechanics. Hang on. If my this this after this part where you ask a question for gameplay and she answers. Next up, anyway, I did my part. Now it's your turn to answer, Mr. Chris. You didn't get on this cruise just for the gig. You knew this ship would pass Moon City, a place normal people wouldn't think about returning. Yet you are here right now. And I doubt you came here to find crystals or harvest mushrooms. I believe you came here to find someone. The one you used to love, right? The one I used to love? Did you find her? That day I saw her die. However, I always wanted to believe she's still alive, but I'm now convinced the girl I loved is truly dead. Yes, she is. And so is Paul. Yes, he is. That day they both died. We did. Anyway, enough reminiscing about the past. How about I'll let you ask one more question before I leave? And then don't say no. You know, this may as well be the last time we ever see each other again. Alright, just one more. Gameplay. You know, serving coffee is not your thing. Next time just serve me some can of water that tastes way better than this. Oh, shut it. You know you'd rather drink this than whatever rations they serve in the city. Barely. Tomorrow when I get back inside, another city, I will open a small store. As long as you stay away from the coffee machine. But why Zion? The place only a few hours away from here. I figured you want to be as far away from Moon as possible. It's because I want to see you more often. Why not come with me? We can start over, together, in Science City. Or anywhere else. No. Huh? Paul, you had your shot 10 years ago, but you blew it. You want us to start over, but we cannot. I cannot accept you as long as you are lying to yourself. I don't want you to accept me as long as I am not true to myself. When I said this might be the last time we meet, I meant it. If we ever meet again, I want to meet the real you, and I want you to meet the real me. But right now, neither of us are. Paul, the name's Lily. Please don't forget it. That's the final day. close to the credit scene. And the point of the story I am just told is you have two characters that pretend to be someone they are not. And they both know they are not who they say they are. And they both know that each other knows. But neither of them directly tells it to the other. So they indirectly imply that they died. I hope the story makes sense to you. Oh, by the way, this Lily character is actually this character, which I will draw some other time. That was sad. Thanks. It's meant to be sad. Okay, where can I make improvements? Because I figured why not make the start of the game will be mostly comedic with Jay being mostly just an idiot and you just observing what he's doing. But as you go further, you realize how complex all these characters are. Even the main character that barely talks about himself. That's great, I do gotta go, but I'll be back probably soon. Alright, see you in a bit, Irbo. I'll be continuing sketching. Bye. Okay, I think I will quickly take a quick break as well. Um, I need to do a quick toilet break and be back in 10 minutes or so. Okay, see you in a bit. Hi, welcome back. I just got some cola for myself. So I hope you are enjoying the stream so far. I also had this idea of an senior character that works alongside the main character. And his name will be Mark. However, he will barely talk, well, not barely, but barely gets proper time to talk to the main character because his shifts are exactly at the same time as the main character shifts. So they barely interact practically. And that's where I had a fun story idea from, which I will reach. I do a lot more reading in this stream than actually drawing. What the hell? Just a little extra fun co-worker relationship story. This movie side quest. Oh. Okay, Daniel. I didn't know you worked here. Mark. It's not your fault. You work the mornings and afternoons, right? I work in this movie bar at the pool. The bar is only open in the mornings and afternoons too. At night, the pool is closed. The smoothie bar? Oh man, I can really go for smoothies sometime. I get bored of being surrounded by coffee and orange juice all the time. I can really go for something different. You know what, Kitch? I'll bring you something tomorrow. I'll bring you a smoothie tomorrow. You will? Won't Jay get upset for wasting money? Ha! That's one of the perks of being an employee. You get drinks and food on the house. If Big Boss gets upset, he can suck it. I mean, what's he gonna do? Fire us? Who's gonna stand behind the bar? It's hard to find people when you're on the seas 24/7. Hey man, I'm planning to quit soon anyway, but I don't want to be the reason you lose your job. Haha, Fight is right. You are way too kind for your own good. Don't worry about me, pal. Jay may be an idiot at times, but he won't fire someone for a $2 drink. I'll get you smooth tomorrow. You got my word for it. Thank you, Mark. And then the next day, someone who knows, gives Daniel the smoothie. Thanks. I mean, tell him thanks for me. Looks at the strawberries. So Marcus fulfilled his promise. I'd rather had the banana one, but I shouldn't complain. After all, he made it specially for me. I should thank him properly later. Gives everyone a little cute co-work story. And in the story, his name is Marcus, which I will draw him some other time. And the reason I call him Marcus is because I named him after Mark Antony. Have you ever heard of Mark Antony before? Of here in the Netherlands we call him Marcus Antonius. He was a Rome commander. Yeah, exactly. Famous guy until he got with Cleopatra and murdered later. I'm not going through the whole story. But I think his name is just so cool, Mark Antony or Marcus Antonius. That's the coolest name ever, man. And that's why I will call him Marcus, because it's just too cool to not use for a name. That's true, he got with Kyoto after Caesar died. And then they started a war with Rome and lost. I think the shoulders are way too wide. Okay. Note to self, I need to redraw the shoulders a bit narrower. Next sketch layer. And another reason why I call him Mark is more of a pun name, little personal joke of mine. I had this idea of a superhero or more of a vigilante character. I won't use it in this specific story, but I had this idea of a vigilante character that goes around all masked in fighting criminals. And his only name is a triple question mark. As in, if you were to see the game text box, it will be just 3 question marks in a row. And so he's known as triple question mark. And that's also an indirect way to say, hey, this guy named Mark is the triple question mark. More of a pun name idea. But like I said, I probably won't use that idea in this game because I have no interest in writing vigilante story at the moment. Maybe in a sequel, I don't know. But that's the reason why I call him Mark and later slightly renamed him to Marcus. Yeah, or the shoulders right. I think I still made them too wide. Damn it. I need to redraw the shoulders again. I really have sometimes just the dumbest character ideas, man. Oh, if I was a mangaka or something, I'd be fucking naked, I swear. So stupid all my ideas sometimes. And also, mildly educational. I like me to sometimes throw in a little bit of a mild history facts or something. Adds a little personality to the taste. Art by Mirage. Mirage. Welcome in. You've been missing the part where I was reading an entire story about a forgotten king. Everyone knows about it. But maybe I can think of another story to tell. One Earbo hasn't heard before. You know, it gets hard. Every time I tell a story, I have less stories to tell. And the stories I do have are way too long to just pull up. Wow, indie game developers. That's cool. Thanks, man. You want to see something I made, because right now I'm just sketching. Uh, This right here, if it loads, is one I made a couple months ago for the project. Nicely dithered girl and named. What do you think about S-Spiral 4? Never heard of it. What is that? Oh, there's another character I made a few weeks ago. So you can expect this style for the character I am currently working on. I've never heard of Aspire 4. Let me look it up for a moment. Okay, I cannot quite find it. Oh, I mistyped it. A Spiral 5. What, some sort of YouTuber? I don't know. I don't know who that is. Pen ports from a Dreamcast have been made recently, including RE4 and Virtua Fighter. Oh, that's nice. I've never played Virtua Fighter, but it looks kinda neat. Impossible ports interest me. Same, man. I do wonder, how about some old visual novel ports? That's what I want to see. I sometimes see some super cool 90s visual novels or early 2000s. I would love to see some of those portraits so I can read them. In my opinion, the PS Vita is the best console for indie games. Yes, I've never owned a Vita before, so I cannot say. Not to mention, it's a very old console, so I don't think a lot of indie gamers are making games for that one. I think the Steam Deck is probably the best indie game console at the moment, if you can afford it. Okay, I like symmetry, but the arms look a lot better now. I need to redesign the chest plates. Playing indie games on a huge console doesn't make sense to me. Indie games that do justice to the hardware deserve Steam Deck, I guess. I don't really care where you play indie games. I either play my indie games on Steam or on my Switch, whichever is most convenient to me. But that's just me. I'm not really into playing a big games on the Switch, but indie games are nice and small usually. Alien, oh man, my favorite indie game. Oh, never heard of it. Alien Hominid, let me look it up. Alien Hominid. Oh, that looks... Huh? Alien Hominid JS. Looks cute. Looks cute. Maybe I'll check it out someday. Okay, I need... How do I rework the armor plate? That's the question I want to figure out right now. What kind of games do you like then? New favorite, one you're interested recently? Okay, do I want to make the head bigger? The arm position a bit off. Okay, I think I made the waist and the torso a bit too wide. I'll try to make it a bit slimmer to give her a bit more of a feminine body shape. Okay, that looks better, but now I want to redraw this arm. Sometimes I think about the fact I still haven't seen Axel in a long time, man. I wonder what he's up to. He used to show up all the time, but he hasn't anymore. Yeah, you're right, he hasn't what he's been up to. He wasn't even in the subby stream, I think. So I assume he's just being busy with his own life. So hopefully someday he'll return. Because I would really love to tell him some of the stories I told you Airbow. I think he will be interested in those too. Speaking of someone that never shows up, my moderator also never shows up. Like one guy I once appointed as moderator and he's only been in like 3 streams of mine. Damn him. I think the peak of 2D games was the 90s. After the 2000s, I believe all 2D games decreased, like games like Shank and Inside, but I think better ones could be made. It's harder to find good 2D games sometimes, but I think the indie space does a pretty good job at making some good 2D games. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with the best 2D games being 90s games. Especially since nowadays we are like majority of especially indie games are 2D. I would say we need more 3D games, more, and I don't mean AAA type open world stuff, but more simple 3D games. Because I feel like we're drawing in 2D anyway. Okay, the arms look fine. But maybe she's a bit too wide. She feels very wide. How does she compare to other character? Hmm, she's about as wide as the other characters, so that's not a problem. Okay, I think what I need to do is just make a final sketch version. And then I will just tweak as I go along. I missed digitized 2.5D graphics. It's still possible to make indie games with digitized graphics. Oh man, I missed 2.5 graphics. Oh, I still want to play that Klonoa game, man. That shit looks lit. You know what I also would love to see someday? Someone is a vector graphics. I need I need more indie games to make vector graphics type games. I play it, man. The Netherlands, I live in the Netherlands. Okay, I only need the head. I will make a new layer for specifically just the head sketch. The color doesn't really matter, let's go with a nice blue. And then I'll make the first color version. And this character will, that's too dark color, this character will probably take me a couple days to finish, man. Are you originally Dutch? No. I was adopted when I was like 3 years old from India. So technically I'm not Dutch in terms of where I'm from. But I also don't feel like it makes sense for me to say that I'm from India because I have literally no cultural or linguistic ties to that country either. It just makes more sense for me to say I'm just Dutch, man. I will draw the hair in a sometime later. Let's first take this version and I will use this as the basis for black outline version. It's hard to see with this dark background color. Okay, I also learned my first game scripting lesson from my Indians when I was 14. Now I'm 27 and I'm in paint. Congrats, man. What kind of paintings do you like to make? And what for medium? Are you doing digital or are you mere physical? And if you do real life paintings, what is your favorite types of paint? I've personally never been much of a painter myself because oh, I don't have really much money to get all the materials, and all the cleaning up you have to do after is just annoying, man. If I do physical things, physical artwork, it's just mostly just pencil work for me, and sometimes markers. I want to learn game making but couldn't. Back then YouTube only made but also 14 then you were that's like 2014 or 2013 when you tried to make games. Yeah, back then there was like very little, only just some Unity stuff. Game maker, games make software. Nowadays there's a lot you can work with if you ever consider to give it a new shot. Okay. Personally, I'm into the Go.game engine. I think that's a very, very easy, nice engine to work with. But you will need to understand a bit of coding for that. Really, Red was the strongest game engine I've ever seen. I've never heard of that engine, 3D Red. Ah, back in the 90s, before I was even born, every developer made their in-house game engine. And they often have the most craziest names you can think of. Still frame to think, still weird to think that Unreal Engine was originally made as a game engine for what was called MMORPGs, but then the devs were like, you know what, let's take this in-house engine and make it commercial. And that's how Unity became the game engine so big that even AAA studios start to use it. I know 2 PlayStation games by Sketchin. I don't know that development team. What kind of games, man? I was once considering learning Unity, but My impression of Unity is it's really good if you want to make huge games, really big games. But since I'm not interested in that kind of scope of game development, it's a bit too much for me. Max Payne wasn't available on the PSP, so Indians made the deal in game. Max Payne. Interesting. Okay, so this is the first black line art sketch. Looks all extremely chopped at the moment. Let's see. I need to make a hair version now. And I can also use this one as line art. Oh, the hair will be the most difficult part because it's so messy, man. And then I will use a quick paint bucket tool to give everything the color I need it to have. So what kind of games were you planning to make yourself? May you try to learn? Did you have something interesting, cool in mind? Okay, the hair goes a little bit above. Okay, she may has a bit of more complex hair than I would like. That will be very painful once I get in the dithering phase. Damn. If an indie game developer designs a perfect console for oh man, you delete it. Okay, now it's time for paint bucket tool. And make it in all the colors I needed for the first version. I'll throw the old sketches in one folder so they won't be in the way. And I need this version for color picking. Her hair is a bit more on the yellowish brown side. Maybe I'll make it a bit greener later. I need a contrasting color for the t-shirt, for the background, so it doesn't blend with the shirt. Whoa. Okay, even an indie game developer designs an expensive game for an old console, could it quickly become a trending topic in a forum site? An expensive game for an old console. Don't they do that like all the time? I've seen a lot of developers making games for like the NES or porting games too. The Game Boy Advance. But the real question is, why would they do it in terms of financially speaking? Game development takes a lot of time and is quite expensive endeavor. So I don't think most indie developers would even try to do it even if they wanted. But if one did, I have seen a very not expensive but very small indie games made for specific consoles, which you can only play if you download those consoles emulators. But hypothetically, you could play them on the consoles themselves if you put it on a cartridge. I've played some indie Game Boy Advance games before. Never on the Game Boy Advance itself, but on emulator. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm happy with the color of the leather because it doesn't contrast nicely with the color of the hair. So we'll give the leather some other color sometime. Maybe it's silver. No, that will be down the line. And the background doesn't contrast nicely with the skin color at all, man. Okay, this is better for contrast. You know, sometimes I'm amazed with how many random stuff that people just put on the Game Boy Advance for no reason. Someone even ported a Mario 64 on that thing. I realize I just missed part of this part, the little not part. Artificial intelligence has made me disgusted with video games. With all video games, or the ones that made with AI. Because if we are talking specifically games made with AI, then I agree. I think that's lazy, man. And just hire some artist and get some high quality products. Don't half-ass it, man. Okay, the arms. You're starting to see the vision, at least I am starting to see the vision of the character. But the original design has a bit more of a long face. So that's what I want to change. I need to make the face a bit longer. However, I'm not too worried about AI in video games because truthfully, I keep seeing the AI game engine in my the AI game engine instead of thing. I'm not too concerned about AI because so far I've not seen a real AI game that truly poses a threat to game development. I've seen ideas of people using AI for marketing or some random painting in a random game, but I've yet to see people actually use AI for anything substantial without it looking ass. And frankly, I don't think that will ever happen. Okay, that's also not quite what I was hoping for. Because AI is very good at knowing the basics, but nobody wants to know the basics. Everyone already knows the basics. And that's why AI sucks. It's very bad at the fine tuning of specific stuff, what people really desire. And that is also what I can read in your comment. You are disgusted by AI because AI just sucks, man. And that's why I don't believe AI will go anywhere anytime soon. And that's why also I'm not too afraid of it. However, right now I do see it as a very, very good scamming tool. I always see people use it trying to scam others. Because when you give people the ability to scam people easy, they will make use of it. And that's what I see people do using AI to scam people that don't know better. You know, interesting is, am I the only one watching this broadcast? I thought Airbo was watching earlier. Maybe he still is, but isn't commenting. And also, I usually don't get a lot of views anyway. I'm still a small channel after all. So don't worry about if you are the only one. That's normal. I'm also not worrying about it. People will come, just like how you found me. People will come eventually, even if it takes another year. But what did I want to say about AI? Right. What I want to say is, I've seen people, these AI bros, being like, "Let's make a movie with just with AI," and you check their post 2 years ago, and the movie doesn't exist. Because just saying that you want to do something with AI, want to make something with AI, even if you hypothetically could do it, it's not good enough. It's AI is just not good enough to do it. Otherwise, you would have seen a AI movies all the time these days. But so far I've only seen like 3 AI movies in total, right? And that's why I'm not afraid of it. Because nobody actually uses it, and the people that try to use it, the best they can do is making stupid images online. You know what I hate? The other day, my mother has a medicine, and I looked at the medicine package, the instructions, and boy, I just wanted to scream at it. I just want to. I was really considering to take a picture and post it online to hate on it because they used AI generated images for the instructions. And I could immediately tell it was AI because it has that distinctive AI piss filter. It was all that yellowish color. And the instructions it had didn't make sense. The instructions should be take a glass of water, take the pill, and but that never happens. And some of the images were duplicated. Those images made no sense for what they were meant to display. And the best part was, it was an old woman in a nice sweater, nice reddish sweater, but kept changing. One image is a sweater, next image is a t-shirt. Man, the quality control. Even the medical world has that problem. I don't know what to say about the world. I found out my ex-girlfriend is an artificial intelligence. Is your ex-girlfriend artificial or intelligent? That is the real question. But do you mean... I know AI is still developing and still in early stage. I mean, compared to it, it was more or less developing, making that... I don't know if I agree with that statement, Airbo, because AI doesn't make any money. Even if it gets better, it doesn't make any money, and AI can only live as long as the companies that make money off of it live. But the only companies that can afford to lose money are the big companies like Google and Microsoft who have other businesses besides AI. But I don't think the makers of ChatGPT, I forgot the name, will live long because their only business model is AI. And if you look at that company, they had Sora, which was a video generating tool. And that tool got deleted off the world and doesn't exist anymore. Why? Because it didn't make any money. So AI can only exist as long as there's money to be made. So I don't really know if I agree with your statement personally. Even if it got better. And also, speaking of AI getting better hypothetically, AI is based on the world on the content that exists on the internet. By taking everything humans made in the past. However, they've already gotten everything. They've already taken everything from the past. The only thing they can take is the present, but the present is half AI, and the future will be even more AI. AI will be trained on itself eventually, aka AI will only become more and more sloppier over time. Actually, it's a bit of a rough sketch, man. It doesn't even have eyes. The Okay, good. And 2 years ago, I feel like AI actually hasn't changed in 2 years, man. I feel like the minor changes AI went through in the last 2 years is just kinda negligible. I mispronounced it completely. Because I remember talking to AI like nearly 2 years ago. And if anything, I feel like AI has only gotten worse in the last few years. The answers aren't as educated and well thought out. Because another thing about AI is it keeps asking the user if it's happy with the responses. But over time, users kept answering, as long as you clothe me, as long as you make me seem like such an amazing person, I'm happy with the response. And as a result, AI nowadays is like super gloaty, super like, wow, you're so amazing, you're so smart, man. Because that's how it's been trained. And that's why I think it's getting worse. I think the best AI are the ones that actively say to the user, you're fucking stupid. And that's what I want from my friends. I want my friends to say that I'm stupid because I believe I'm not smart. I believe you need to criticize me if I say something stupid. And that's what AI cannot do. AI cannot properly criticize its users. And that's what its downfall will be. AI is essentially just a yes man, you know? Video creation has definitely developed a lot. Yeah, it has. But still, have you ever seen a long video? Serious question. Have you ever seen a long AI video more than 1 minute long? Because I don't think you have. Because that's AI videos will break down after 10 seconds. Okay, the arms don't work out for me, man. So I need to make the new sketch version. Hooray. And what I do concern me about AI, however, is the education. Sometimes I like listening to random YouTubers for some random educational content, like back in the Rome, they use shields like this to the whole them and have to have black in front of them or something like that. It's all nice and all, but nowadays with all that AI, a lot of new educational content is AI generated, which is a big issue because a lot of it is now misinformation. And I see actual historians and scientists warning us about all these misinformations. That's not gonna stop it though. And it sucks because I want to be educated. I want to learn new stuff every day. But it's so hard to learn new stuff if I'm not even certain it's some actually real and not fake misinformation. And that's the one thing that does concern me about AI. It's very easy for people that don't know jack shit to spread information that just could be very harmful. In terms of history, it's not too harmful, but it will be very harmful if we talk about medicines or something. And if you ever think to yourself, you're an artist and you are afraid that AI is taking over your job, don't. Or be like me, stream it. Stream you making your art. You cannot say it's AI generated when I literally have proof that I literally drew it. Right? There are ways for to show people that, hey, I'm real, man. Okay. Most of the body is fine. It's mostly just the arms that I wasn't satisfied with. So I'm gonna delete that part. If they argue the video proof is AI generated. Hmm. Let them argue, I'd say. Because at some point it's just not worth it to prove yourself. If people ever come to me and like, your live streams are clearly faked, man. You're not streaming, you're an AI bot. I'm not even going to argue with those people. And because at some point on the internet you have to realize that some people, doesn't matter how much you say to them, doesn't matter how much you give them proof, they have decided what they already believe. And if what they already believe is that I'm AI generated, all I can do is, alright, I guess I'm AI generated now. I'm not even going to bother argue with those people. Because I believe the people that actually care will find um, real artist eventually, even if it takes some time. And those people will eventually share those real artists. And even, and to that point, even the doubters will be like, everyone says he's real, so he's real. And unless they can definitively prove that I'm fake, which I don't think they can, I would love to see it, someone being like, "Oh, that Super Doom King guy is clearly AI generated. You can see that because there's this one blurry part in the background. Like, look, it's all blurry, man." Do I have a blurry brush somewhere? Hang on. Look, it's so. The blurry effect would work better if it was pixel. Look, man, it's so blurry. It's clearly AI generated. Okay, well, where was my sketch right here? What if they... I've also seen a lot of people that try to prove that their little drawings are AI aren't AI generated. But usually there are telltale signs. Usually, not always. That's Super Donkey, my favorite AI streamer. I don't know if I agree with that. A, yes. I, debatable. I'm definitely artificial, but we'll have to decide if I'm intelligent. I sometimes get videos of random artists that are like debunking this AI guy. And then I look at some art of some random nobody who posted AI on Twitter and discussing like huge Twitter drama about AI art. And I have to say, I've seen like 2 billion of those videos by now, and I get all bored by it. Oh no, another guy that uses AI. Gee. Okay, this looks way better. Portions doesn't look. Nope, I like the proportions way better, even if it's still a little chippy. You know, I think it's funny, people named L, you know, AL, and because the L looks like a capital I. Oh, that's so funny. When you go to a channel and his channel name is like, my name is El Gustavo. What is AI? Okay, okay, I think this is a very good first person sketch. Can't wait for me to make the dither version, but that's gonna take probably next stream. The dithering, my favorite part is the dithering, but that's late game. Oh. What oh? Oh, oh, yellow. Good. Oh, Which side is worth mirroring? This is difficult because I like this arm better, but I like this sleeve better. Damn it, now think about it. I shouldn't have drawn the hair, because now I cannot mirror it properly. Cannot mirror it without mirroring the hair. Okay, that will be painful. I will still give it a shot. Okay, I will mirror this side. and I will get rid of the hair, I think. No, I think I have made way too many front-facing characters so far. Mm, mm, mm. I have 3 front-facing characters, but 2 of which were front-facing because they were based on old sketches. I have only 1 character that's a bit sideways, so I think the next character will also not be front-facing like this one. Because it gets a bit boring when every character looks at one direction, you know? I will steal the hair of this version. Yeah, with the Marcus character I was talking earlier. Like I said, I want to name him after Marcus Antonius, Mark Antony. And so I think, well, this character is more somewhat pirate inspired. I will make Marcus a bit more old Roman inspired. With that nice twirly hair. And maybe more focus on the color red. Yeah, so Rome is usually portrayed with the color red. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's definitely a very slight improvement. Very slight, I won't say it's a huge improvement. Okay, let me think for a moment to decide what I want to change. Besides the face is a bit weird. Ah, I know what I need to improve. Look at how small she is. What the hell? Why did I draw her so small? I okay, that's what I will change. I will make her bigger. No, this part won't be very nice pixel scale. I'm back. I was just in the washroom. Welcome back. I didn't even know you left. Um, the last main change I want to make is to make the character bit bigger because I realized I drew her a little bit too small. So this the previous version, this the upscaled version. And if you look at the previous version compared to the other character, look at how small my previous attempt was. Too small, so cute. This new attempt is more better in skill with the other character. So all I have to do is to clean this version up and then I can make a yeah, I need to make improvement in terms of proportions, and after that I need to add details too. I forgot to add the metal plating and some hair pieces. Okay, that's what I will do. Oh. So essentially it's back to the black line art. How did I get all these blurry lines? I don't know. You know, part of me live streaming, speaking of AI, part of me live streaming is because I want to have definitive proof that, hey, my art is not generate trash. So whenever, if people ever are like, oh, it must be AI generated, you clearly copied it from this other artist, can literally just send them to my videos, send them to my live stream and be like, nah, nah, take that. Because harder to fake a live stream than it is to fake a random video on the internet. Do I want to make the shoulders a bit more rounded, a bit more sharp? Oh, Erbo, you weren't a lot in my previous streams, and there were a lot of questions I really wanted to ask you. Well, not questions, polls. I had a lot of polls. I was really curious about your take on, but you were never there, so I could never ask you. What was my today's poll anyway? Was oh yeah, it was the cheeseburger ordering question. I never did that because today with automatic machines I kind of never order at the cash register. But it would be super funny to do someday. But I had a question about an empty glass of water, and the question was, is an empty glass of water filled with... What is an empty glass of water filled with? A. Water. B. Not water. It's a bit of a difficult question because in the statement it already says the glass is a glass with water, but it also says it's empty. I mean, the obvious answer is that it's not filled with water because it's empty. But depending on how you phrase it, it will lead to a minor moment of confusion. It appears that that other guy, art by, has left. At least I haven't seen him comment in a while. But every stream, it gets harder to think of a new poll question because I feel like I've already asked everything I have to offer. And now I just don't know what to ask anymore. I don't have infinite questions. And some questions I do have are just very difficult to ask in a poll form. Because I'm generally more often the open-ended questions, which you cannot really have as a poll type question. Do I need to make... I think I made her neck a bit on the long side. I think I will perch the face a bit downward. I first need to fix the outline before I can do that. Something else I realized is I've been drawing a lot of characters without one shirt type. My first character was more of a... He was wearing a shirt and on top of it a sweater, the Kiwi character. And the character I made last week was wearing a shirt and then on top of it what was the name? Vest. Yes, a vest. So there's always a distinctions between the sleeves and the torso. And that's the same with this character. I don't even intend to do that. That's just how some of my old sketches are. It helps though, because having some distinctions between the arms and the torso is sometimes necessary. I think I've done the whole thing. Oh no, the arms. You know, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but in my I have piano classes once in the 2 weeks, and I'm planning to learn some Ghibli music because it's all fun to play the music for the class, the more classical stuff. But I said to my teacher, you know what? I want to play some movies music. So I will look up some music that I like. So that's what I'm planning to do down the week. Oh man, I forgot to draw the neck. Here, well, do you play instruments? Okay, is the hair covering the head? I don't think so. Quick ear sketch. That wasn't in the original version. Actually, I don't think I have to do the ears. I can cover it later. Okay. I like how the art is looking so far. Thanks, man. Soon. I'm actually impressed at how quickly I'm working today. Normally it takes me a bit longer. Well, probably because I already had sketch. But I feel like I'm not too far away from the dither phase. I need a in between patching up phase. But patching up phase is mostly just fixing some proportions. And changing a couple stuff I don't like. Oh, I need a new detailing phase because right now the art is a bit heavy color use. Instead of nice, I forgot to fix that. Instead of nice little details like the metal swirlies. His reply is pretty late, but you were talking about how you stream this because of people who might say it's AI. I wouldn't worry about people like that. Some people will find an excuse to be mad. Well, it's only half true that I do it because I'm worried that people think it's AI. Me streaming is a bit more complex than one reason here, Bo. Me streaming is I just like to try new stuff, and when I watched Earbow and many other streamers last year, scaling is weird. No, it's not the scaling, it's my eyes. Oh, I stare so much at the screen, my eyes are starting to get a bit weird. But as I was saying, last year I watched like 10 or so different streamers, and I was like, damn, that's this really fun to watch. I kind of want to try streaming myself. And that's the main reason why I want to start streaming, because I like trying new stuff and I see other people stream, including support content and many other streamers that I like. And that's the main reason I want to try stuff. Secondly, as I said, the art AI thing, that is more of a secondary reason. So I'm not really worried about people thinking that my art is AI in general. It's more of just a proof that it's not AI. And the third reason, indirect promotion of my art, of my game project. Because I realized that if I want my game project to succeed, I need people to see it. I need people to know about it. And I figured if I make myself a public figure, eventually people will come and see the streams, and as they come and see the streams, they will come and see the game I'm working on. So me streaming is not just I am afraid people think it's AI. That's only part of the reason. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. Do you think I should cut this off? Do you think the head, the bandana is a bit too big? Or, or should I make the bandana a bit lower? How do bandanas look? Okay, maybe a little lower. Yeah, looking at the reference, people have the bandana more close to the eyebrows. This is more way up on the head. Okay, that's the change I will make. I make the bandana a lot lower. And another reason I wanted to stream, besides me drawing, I thought it'd be fun if I started playing games on my channel. Because, well, my channel, Super Doom King channel, is primarily a game development channel. As you know, I also do Let's Plays once in a while. Because, frankly, this, I don't really know what I really want this channel to be. So I'm just gonna try new every time I try new stuff for sure. This is me when I wear my big brother's hat. Okay, the eyes are around here. I think something like so. What do you think, Erbo? I will have to redraw the hair underneath later on. Okay, the hair is a bit very loose. Okay, what I think I will do is I will make the bandana tighter. Yeah, I will redraw the bandana completely. Oh, new bandana sketch incoming. Okay, bandanas are supposed to be. Can't find my sketch brush. Bandanas are supposed to be super tight around the head because they are essentially just tied up gloves. So, and I need to redraw the hair that it goes underneath, appear underneath the bandana instead. So it will. Okay, yeah, that's what I will do. At some point, I was considering doing movie reviews years ago because I have a lot of movies, as you know. But man, I can really not be bothered to do video editing. Video editing in DaVinci, oh god, it takes way too long. Even though I think I have a lot to say about a lot of movies I watch or the games I played. Okay. But some opinions I'll just keep to myself, I guess. Good, I think that's a better looking bandana. Do I need to make it a bit lower? I need to give her hair again. That's what I need to do. Okay, but what do you think? Is this a improvement? The new bandana? Okay, overall. She looks a lot better now compared to the previous version. Compared to, I think it was this one, right? Big forehead version. But I still think her head's a bit long. If I put it a bit lower, or if I perch the bandana itself lower. Something like so. Now she looks pretty accurate to the original sketch, pretty much. Oh, I should return the belt. This belt right here. Okay, that's what I will do. I will. I cannot. There's like barely enough room for the belt. Hmm. Okay, random detailing time, including the belt. I always love adding random details that only make sense to me. Belt went originally around two ways, but this time I will draw it a bit higher up. The next detail I need to add is the metal that goes around the armor. You have the underside, which is the leather layer, and then you have this side above it that is more metallic. In the original version, only one side was metal, the one that's covered with hair. I will need to delete all that hair, man. That's way too much hair. Okay, I will delete the hair. And redraw them later. Maybe I'll choose to not have the hair go over her chest anyway, because my other character already had that, my previous character would be a bit boring if too many characters have the same thing. So now the question is, will I make it symmetrical, the armor plating? For now I will. Because if I decide I don't want it to be symmetrical, I can always easily remove it. No, I still haven't thought about what eye color I will give this character. Because in most of my portrayals I do this character more with complete black eyes. But in this version I don't have to give her proper eye color. Ooh, it's metal time. A The gold part will be a bit more tricky to get right. Because that's some heavy detailing. Okay, if I understand correctly, they are mostly just twirls like so. So if I get one twirl right, I can essentially just copy and paste it. Well, no, I will have to draw it all the way through. Okay, this will be super painful to do, drawing every individual twirl. I constantly get messages from someone, you know. Okay, quick minor update. The being be right back. We'll quickly take a piss break, see you in a bit. Okay, it's very close to 2 in the midnight for me, so I won't be streaming for too long, for much longer. I will continue do just a couple of extra things, and then I will also quit the stream for today, come back in a few days to finish the piece. You know what, I'm not going to put too much care in the stories right now because I will probably update them down the line anyway. Hi, Erbo. Are you still here? Let me check. Erbo, if you're still here, remember early in the stream when I was talking about the steampunk stuff. I think these swirlies help with that, to give her more that very high class feel to her. Will be a bit difficult to get right with this low resolution. But I will. Did go. What is the reference? The reference, it went all the way around. However, what I think is most interesting about the reference is how the line art works. The line art is mostly black outlines, but then you look at armor and it doesn't use outline at all. So it really looks as if it's on top of the character itself. Maybe I'll incorporate that as well, because that's very cool detail, I think. Hmm, down the line. Not right now. Okay, this part I won't be able to do big swirls because there's not enough space. Oh. I think I will also have to draw the armor just play it a bit higher up, because right now there's like a huge, very deep v-neck going on. That will be also an update I will do probably next stream. Thanks, man. For next stream, I will make the armor plate a bit higher up. And things. And I think with some extra tweaks, I am very close to the dithering phase as well. Mirroring, that's the best part about digital art. I can copy and paste. Oh yeah. I don't like the gray though, it's a bit too dark for my taste. I will give it a bit of a brighter gray. I think that's... But now the yellow is a bit hard to see with this. So I need a more stronger yellow. Really screams. Just something like show. The gray can just be a little bit lighter. Compared to previously. Okay, the previous is a very dark gray, this one is a lot lighter, makes it look a little bit more luxurious. Okay, what I will do next stream is I will do a quick sketch. Okay, I will make the chest plate a little bit more higher up and make the cleavage a bit higher as well, like so. Because right now the triangle is really, really deep. And in terms of other design, can I add? Oh. Okay, what I think I will also add is not add. I will make the chest plate a bit wider, so it really goes over the whole arm. The strap of the plate, I mean. And very maybe I'll add something that goes over the shoulders, like a shoulder plate or a little extra design detail. What else can I need? What is a good design for a shoulder blade? Just a blade like so. And maybe, and since she's a pirate, some bruises or tattoos on her arm. Who knows? Maybe a skull. I don't want to go overboard though. So I think I will only give one arm a tattoo. And What can I do with the shirt? Oh, I know, strings. Some old shirts often had the strings that went very close to the neck. A bit crossing. And otherwise, I do want what I need is if I can find the guy. Since she's this fellow's older sister, I need a way to connect the two. Hmm. I can't. Maybe the same eye color, or maybe the same hair color. I don't know. Do I want to change her hair color from brown to blonde? I don't know. You know, Airbo, I am thinking about making this guy a bit brownish, because since he is a guy that's always on the sea, I imagine that he's probably developed a bit of a tan. So what I think I will do is down the line I will make him slightly tanned. And I think I may do the same with this character, make her slightly brown. Otherwise, I don't think I can really connect the characters in terms of design. Okay, I think I will also make the sleeves a bit higher up. Well, right now they are quite low, but I think I would rather them to be slightly higher. Not in a symmetrical way, one will be slightly lower than the other. Then have it a bit bulged because it's all folded. And battle damage, the chest plate needs scratches and stuff to show that it's all worn down and broken. But I don't need to overcomplicate it. In the original design, I show battle damage by only drawing half the chest plate and the other half just being completely gone. In this version, I want to be a bit more obvious that it's actually broken, not just a weird design thing. So some of the leather poking out. And the last thing I need to give this character are some scars to really show that she's been through stuff. In fact, I can make the scar part of her tattoo. Maybe. And also, that would apply the same for her clothes. Her clothes should probably also be slightly ripped. And I have a slight lock poking out from where the shirt is ripped. And I think that will be the main changes I will do in few days. Right now it is the version. In a few days it will be a little bit more chaotic. What can I do more? Maybe an armband, maybe some earrings, maybe I'll think about it. I haven't drawn any ears. Yeah, I think I will give this character a nice golden earring. Something like so. Okay, I would say that is enough for today, and I will continue in a few days. Hope I don't know if I will finish it in a few days, since I often spend like at least 3 streams on these things. But I don't think we're too far off of the final product with this character. Maybe I'll redraw her head a little, make it a little bit bigger. It looks a bit small for me at the moment. But we'll see that in once I'll get to that part. But for now, I'm gonna say thanks for watching and bye.